Hey guys, sit down. Take a deep breath and picture this scene with me. You're at the birthday party of the woman you've loved for 3 years. A beautiful private room, golden lights, Italian wine flowing freely, laughter echoing off the walls of Trattoria Bella Vita in the Jardins. A three-tier cake with edible gold leaf sparkling in the center of the table. Everyone she loves most in Sao Paulo is there. Her office friends, the crew from her yoga class in Pinheiros, her sister, her college buddies. The vibe is perfect. Then she stands up, raises her glass, looks around the whole table with that little smile I knew so well, puts her hand on my shoulder, and says loud enough for everyone to hear, "This is my boyfriend, Rafa. He pays all the bills, buys me expensive gifts, follows me around like a loyal little puppy, but he still thinks I'm actually in love with him." The silence that fell was the kind you feel in your chest, 2, 3 heartbeats, and then her friends exploded in laughter, some nervous, some genuine. Me, Rafael, 38 years old, owner of the Sabor da Terra bistro in Pinheiros that was finally turning a profit after years of blood, sweat, and burns on my arms. I felt the world spin. That Saturday night changed everything in my life. And if you think this is just another cheap betrayal story, hold on tight, because today I'm telling you everything, from beginning to end, no filter. By the end, you'll understand why I decided I'll never crawl for anyone again. Stay until the finish, because the lesson that comes after, man, it saves lives. My name is Rafael. I'm 38, and I'm a real chef, the kind who wakes up at 5 a.m. to personally pick out ingredients at Cia Jesp. My bistro, Sabor da Terra, is on a tree-lined street in Pinheiros, right near Oscar Freire, without that snobby vibe. It's not a Michelin star place, it's honest food. Creamy Parmesan risotto with artisanal Braganza sausage, filet mignon in jabuticaba sauce with cashew farofa, modern feijoada that clients book 45 days ahead for Saturdays. Years of 80-hour weeks, weekends working while my friends were at the beach in Utabuba, burns on my forearms that turned into scars, clothes that always smelled like sautéed garlic and caramelized onions, but it was worth every second. The restaurant was finally in the black, with a waiting list, 4.9 Google reviews, regulars who called me Chef Rafa with affection. I'd come home exhausted, take a hot shower, and sleep like a rock. Simple life, but it was mine, and I loved it.
Juliana, 34, senior architect at a prestigious firm on Avenida Paulista. Always flawless, perfectly blow-dried hair, perfect gel nails, clothes that looked like they came from a decor magazine. The kind of woman who walks into a room and the air changes. We met at my best friend Pedro's wedding in Ubatuba on a rainy March weekend. She was wearing a red dress that had everyone staring, came over to me at the bar while I was ordering a caipirinha with aged cachaça. "You're the famous chef Pedro's always talking about?" she asked, smiling. 3 dates later, I was completely hooked. Dinner in Santa Cecilia, holding hands walking through Villa Madalena, a kiss at the Sampa viewpoint. 3 months in, and she already had a key to my house. Looking back now, the red flags were as clear as pão de açúcar on a sunny day, but I was blind with love. We never officially moved in together. She kept her apartment in Higienopolis. I need my own space to work late on projects, Rafa. You understand, right? A man who works in a kitchen knows what it means to need silence, and I paid both rents without blinking. I respected her space, or I thought I did. She complained about my rough hands from chopping vegetables all day, the kitchen smell that clung to my clothes even after 3 showers, the nights I couldn't go out because there was an event at the bistro. "You could find someone more sophisticated, huh? Someone who goes to vernissages instead of sweating in a kitchen," she'd tease, in that tone I used to find cute. I'd laugh. What an idiot I was. Her birthday fell on a perfect spring Saturday in Sao Paulo. I planned everything for weeks like I was opening a new restaurant. I booked the private room at Trattoria Bella Vita, her favorite Italian spot in the Jardins. She hated mixing business with pleasure, so not at my bistro. I invited exactly 20 people, Mariana and Tainá from her office, the yoga crew in Pinheiros, her sister Clara, college friends from architecture school. I ordered a 3-tiered cake with edible gold leaf, exactly like the ones she drooled over on Pinterest. Easy 12,000 reais between the full dinner, imported Italian wines, wildflower decor, and the cake. But that's what you do for the person you love, right? You give, you push, you dream together. The night started amazing. Full table, loud laughs, wine flowing, everyone praising the food. Juliana had been drinking Aperol Spritz since we arrived. Not drunk, just loose, laughing loud, dancing a little in place, more relaxed than I'd seen her in months. I was sitting to her right, so damn proud, thinking, damn, this woman is mine. Then came the toasts. Her best friend Jade told the classic story from their graduation trip to Jericoacoara, everyone cracking up. I went second, kept it simple, from the heart. Julie, I love you so much and I want to celebrate many more birthdays by your side, building our life together. Everyone clinked glasses, shouted cheers, and drank. And that's exactly when everything collapsed. Juliana stood up, glass in hand, with that little smile I now know was pure venom disguised as charm. She looked around the table, put her hand on my shoulder, squeezing hard, and announced, "This is my boyfriend, Rafa. He pays all the bills, buys me expensive gifts, follows me around like a loyal little puppy, and he still believes I'm actually in love with him." The whole table went dead silent for 2 seconds that felt like forever. Then her friends exploded in laughter. Not all of them. Her sister Clara went white as a sheet, eyes wide with shock, but enough that I felt the whole room spinning, the ceiling coming down on me. My face must have shown everything, because Juliana rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh my God, guys, it's just a joke. Relax."
A joke. No trace of affection, no warmth, just ice. I slowly dropped my napkin on the table, stood up without rushing, grabbed my blazer from the back of the chair. "Where you going?" she asked, irritated, like I was ruining her party. "Home," I answered quietly, voice steady even with the knot in my throat. I didn't want a scene. I just needed to get out of there before I said something I couldn't take back. That's when she dropped the final line, loud enough for the whole table to hear. "Don't be so sensitive, Rafa. You know you'll come crawling back anyway." She said it with so much certainty, so much laziness in her voice, like I was a trained stray dog that always returns to its owner no matter how many times it gets kicked. I didn't say a word. I left, got in the Hilux, drove along marginal Pinheiros in total silence. No radio, no podcast, just the sound of wet tires on the asphalt and my head spinning like a hurricane. When I got to my house in Pinheiros, nothing luxurious, but it's mine. Backyard with well-kept grass, the veranda I built with my own hands last summer. Everything felt different. 3 years of memories now looked like scenes from a bad movie I'd directed without realizing. I poured a generous shot of single malt whiskey I'd been saving for special occasions. Her messages started flooding in. First, pure anger. "You ruined my entire birthday. Congratulations." Then defense. "It was just a joke, damn. Don't you have a sense of humor?" Then pleading. "Babe, please come back. I love you." I silenced the notifications, but didn't block her. I wanted the record of everything in case I needed it. Sunday morning, I woke up with a clarity I hadn't felt in years, like someone had turned on the light in a dark room that had been closed for a long time. I gathered all her stuff scattered around the house, designer clothes hanging in my closet, makeup neatly organized in the bathroom, jewelry in the drawer, the exercise bike she bought on impulse and used exactly twice. I packed everything carefully, folding each piece like it still mattered. Took me almost 4 hours. I put her copy of the key on top of the last box, loaded everything into the Hilux, and drove to her apartment in Higienópolis. I let myself in with my key, stacked the boxes neatly in the living room, and wrote a short handwritten note. "Consider this me not coming crawling back anymore. Rent's paid until the end of the month.
After that, you're on your own. Bye, Juliana." I left my favorite coffee mug, the surrogate one she hated because it was ugly, on top of the note and walked out without looking back. I closed the door and for the first time in a long time felt like I was really breathing. Sunday afternoon, the phone exploded again. Photo of the boxes in her living room with the caption, "Seriously, Rafa? This is how you handle things like an adult?" I called my lawyer that same second, explained everything, and asked him to cut any financial ties. I removed her as an authorized user on my account, changed all the passwords for streaming, Netflix, iFood, everything. Monday, I went back to the bistro like nothing happened. I told my sous chef, Marcos, while I was chopping onions. He just shook his head, wiped his knife, and said, "She never deserved you, boss, never." And that was it. No drama, no pity party, just understanding from someone who works 16 hours a day in the kitchen. That's why I prefer the company of cooks. There's a raw honesty the outside world doesn't get. Tuesday, she escalated, started posting stories crying, "Someone's having a midlife crisis and throwing away the best thing he ever had." Her friends commenting toxic, immature, poor Julie. I blocked them all on social media, but kept her number unblocked just to document. Wednesday, her mom, Dona Sonia, showed up at my door with swollen eyes from crying so much. "Rafa, my son, please call Juliana. She hasn't eaten in 2 days. She's destroyed. She won't stop crying." I invited her in, made strong coffee with hot pound de queijo, and told her exactly what happened at the dinner, word for word. Dona Sonia lowered her head, tears falling into a cup. "She said you just left for no reason, that you'd been acting strange for weeks." I explained with all the calm in the world. At the end, she hugged me tight at the door and whispered, "I raised her better than this, daughter. I'm sorry, Rafa. You didn't deserve this." When I saw her car disappearing down the street, I felt a 3-year weight lift off my shoulders. For the first time in a long time, I took a deep breath and smiled. Today, while I'm recording this on the veranda of my house in Pinheiros, with a caipirinha in my hand and the sound of birds, it's Wednesday night. Juliana spent the whole day escalating. She had her sister, Clara, call my brother, her yoga teacher email Marcos, even her personal trainer tried to add me on Instagram. The security camera I installed after a robbery last year caught her driving slowly past the house twice, staring at the window. I didn't reply to anyone. Silence has a power I never imagined. It heals. I've been thinking a lot about dignity, self-respect, the brutal difference between being a reliable man and being a doormat. For way too long, I confused the two. I gave and gave and gave until there was nothing left of me. I accepted crumbs of affection like they were a 3-course banquet. To anyone who's been exactly where I was, someone who gives everything, who endures public humiliation, who pays the bills for someone who treats you like an option, listen to what I'm telling you now with my heart in my hand. It hurts like hell at first. It feels like your chest is going to explode, like the world ended, like you'll never smile again. But on the other side, there's peace. There's peaceful sleep from someone who no longer walks on eggshells. There's money left over every month. Those 4,000 reais I used to spend on gifts, dinners, her rent, became gym 5 times a week, the advanced French pastry course I always put off, and reconnecting with the friends I'd abandoned because of her.
Quick update 3 days later, because a lot of people asked in the comments. Yes, she's still trying. Yesterday, she sent a handwritten letter delivered by motorbike. Who does that in 2026, right? Says she started therapy, that she discovered attachment issues because of childhood trauma. It might even be true, but it's no longer my problem to fix. My lawyer already sent the official letter cutting any financial help. The lease on her apartment is only in her name. The car is hers, everything documented and saved. Her sister Clara sent me an audio apologizing, crying, saying she'd been telling Juliana for years that she treated me badly and that she was mortified by what happened at the dinner. At least one person in that family has a conscience. Oh, and for those asking about revenge, living well is my only revenge. I started going to the gym again, reconnected with the brothers I'd disappeared on, signed up for the pastry course I'd always dreamed of. Result? I lost 4 kilos, the smile came back to my face, and the bistro is even busier because I'm cooking with a light heart. Final update, 2 weeks later, and I think this really is the last one about this story, because things have calmed down and I'm ready to turn the page for good. The biggest thing was Dona Sonia inviting me to lunch last Sunday at a simple restaurant in Moima. I hesitated but accepted. She apologized again with tears in her eyes and told me the truth I never knew. Juliana has an old pattern. Her last 3 relationships ended exactly the same. Successful man, her enjoying the lifestyle, gifts, trips, then surprise when the guy woke up and left. "I love my daughter more than anything," she said with a choked voice, "but she needs help that I can't give alone. I've been encouraging therapy for years." That handwritten letter about therapy? Just another manipulation. Juliana stopped trying after the tough talk with her mom. Now she's telling everyone I was emotionally unavailable and that she ended it for her mental health. Classic rewrite of history. Me? Honestly, I don't care anymore. I started seeing an incredible girl I met in the pastry course. Her name is Anna, 32, art teacher. Calm, no rush, no games. We meet twice a week, talk about everything. My day in the kitchen, her paintings, plans for the future. She asks about my day and actually listens to the answers. After years of one-sided conversations with Juliana, where everything revolved around her, it almost feels unreal that someone like this exists. I'm still taking it slow, but it's good. Really good. The best part of all this? I sleep like a rock now. No more walking on eggshells in my own house. No more checking the card statement scared of what she might have bought. No more pretending to be someone I'm not just to please someone who is never pleased. Some of you called me a king in the comments. I don't know if I'm a king, guys. I'm just a regular 38-year-old guy who finally decided his self-worth wasn't for sale to anyone. If that makes me a king, then I'll wear the crown with pride. The moral of this whole story is simple and direct. Real love doesn't ask you to humiliate yourself. Real love doesn't make you come crawling back after being humiliated in front of everyone. Real love starts with self-respect. If you're going through something like this right now, take a deep breath, pack your things, close the door, and walk away. On the other side, there's peace, there's good sleep, there's a new life waiting for you. I'm living proof. I'm not coming crawling back. Never again. And you? Have you been through something like this? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk with open hearts. If this story helped you in any way, drop a like, share it with that friend who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more real stories like this, because life is too short to live crawling. Thanks for watching until the end. Take care of yourself, okay?